Hi everybody, welcome back to Moonphase Tarot 1111. If you are new, please consider subscribing. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. If you guys would like a personal reading from me, all of my prices and everything are in the description box below. You can email me at moonphasetarot1111@gmail.com. So yeah, today we are going to be doing message decks. So we are going to find out what the Divine Masculine wants to say to the Divine Feminine, right? So if you're on the journey, this can be anybody. If you're not a twin flame, it's fine. You don't have to be a twin flame, but a divine counterpart or just somebody in separation with their person, either one. So let's see, what does the Divine Masculine want to say to the Divine Feminine? Our story isn't over yet. I'm coming back. I do realize that it is backwards. Well, it looks backwards to me. I don't know. My phone might switch it around. It's done that to me before. But you've got me doing things I've never done. Yeah. What else? Ooh. People notice I'm changing. They don't like it. Too bad for them. So they're finally standing up for themselves. In a lot of the situations, the Divine Masculine, usually it sounds strange, is a people pleaser. They're a people pleaser, and usually so is the Divine Feminine, and that's part of the reason for the separation, is because you both have to learn boundaries, not only with each other, but with the people surrounding you. Because the people surrounding you usually are taking advantage of both parties. Okay, so even though the Divine Masculine can get like angry or pissy with the Divine Feminine, that's because the Divine Feminine trigger them in ways to grow up, to find their boundaries. This is why this happens. And the first person that they get shitty with, right, is their divine counterpart. And then it's like, well, if you can get that energy with me, you can take that energy and you can put it where it needs to go. Okay? And that's part of the whole process when the Divine Feminine finally sticks up for herself and cuts the Divine Masculine off. Because it's like you've put up with so much stuff, and you just keep putting up with it, okay? Because you keep thinking if you're there for them, that they'll turn around and they'll be there for you. That's not the way that it is, all right? Because why? They mirror your energy, all right? So when you are there for them, they are there for everybody else, like you are there for them. It doesn't boomerang and come back to you, right? You're there for them, they're there for you. That's not how it works. It works because you do not have boundaries with your Divine Masculine, so they also do not have boundaries with anybody else. I know it sounds so messed up, but it's the truth. So when you finally cut them off, right, because you are in the energy of strong boundaries, they mirror that energy. So then they start having strong boundaries and start putting themselves first, because you guys are the same. You're the same soul, okay? So when they start putting themselves first, they ultimately start also putting you first. And when you start putting you first, that reflects back on them and you. It's the best thing that you can do. It's the most hurtful, terrible thing. It's awful because it's painful, right? You don't want to hurt somebody that you love. You don't want them to hurt you. But when you don't go through the separation and when you don't go through the growth, even if you come back together, all you'll do is hurt each other, because it's the shadow aspects of yourself that are hurting one another. Those are the aspects that need to heal in order for you guys to come together. I plan to reach out to you soon at the bottom of the deck. So let's see. It's a whole different deck. I have a lot of decks. That's kind of like the thing that I do. I like the message decks. I make them. I do plan to start selling them, but I'm trying to get all the kinks and everything out before I do that. But I do plan to do that, so keep tuned for that. You are my reason to keep going. You inspire me every day. Yeah. Of course you do. I know I took you for granted. I'm so ashamed. Yeah, this is a big one. When they finally realize this, when they finally have woken up enough to realize that they took you for granted, then they kind of go into like a hiding mode. And the reason that they do this is because they are ashamed. They took the one person that loved them unconditionally and they threw them in the trash, pretty much. And they did this by choosing everybody else that treated them terribly, right? And you're like, what kind of person throws the person that loves them away and keeps all the ones that are toxic, right? Because anybody would ask that question. But the problem with that is because the toxic people are the people that are closest to them, okay? This can be their family. This can be other relationships that they were in. This could have been going on their entire life, so they don't know what love is. They have no idea. So when you came in and you were like, love, 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 they were like, lies, 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 right? Because they don't believe that they were worthy of that kind of love, because they've been conditioned not to believe that they were worthy of that kind of love. And especially, you know, with the twin flames, a lot of times that happens very fast. Like, sure, you could have known each other for a really long time, but still not been awakened to what this is, right? So the minute that you guys made like a physical contact with each other, you sparked the awakening, okay? So immediately the divine feminine is like, oh my God, that's my person, right? Like your half wakes up and it's like, you've been my person all along. You're the person, right? Okay. And you start having feelings that you can't really understand. You don't get it because you haven't been together that long, right? And you're like, this is weird. I now sound like a crazy person. I can't let this person go. Like, why do I feel like this? Okay. And at the same time, the masculine energy feels this too, right? But this is when they start running, because they usually feel it, I want to say just about as intensely or more so than the divine feminine. But then it becomes of like, what is wrong with me feeling, okay? Like, why is this happening? Okay? And they run away from their own feelings, because they haven't known you long enough to have those kind of feelings. You're probably a liar and you don't trust them, you don't love them. What do you want? It becomes very suspicious, okay? And that's part of the reason why, when they realize that they've taken you for granted because you were true, you were authentic, okay, when they come to this realization that the people around them have been lying to them all of these years, okay, they've been conditioning them to make sure that they do whatever they want, okay, that's another huge thing. These are usually codependent people. These are people that depend on other people for their survival, for their material gains, you know, work people, like I said, family people, you know, and if say like these divine masculines are in a position where they take care of, like financially take care of all these people, the last thing that they would want was for them to move on with their life, right? Okay, like you can't have, you know, your own happiness with somebody or your own family or your own whatever, so they sabotage, okay? And they may even gaslight, you know, the masculines. They may make them feel like they have no self-worth, okay? And when they realize that all of this has been going on, it's devastating. It's heartbreaking and devastating, because these are the people that they do trust. These are the people that have always been there. These have been the people that are constant in their life. And then they realize that it was just all for personal gain. Okay, so when all of this starts crashing down on these masculines, they go within, all right? And that's how they find their emotions. It's terrible, but otherwise they don't budge, because they're in such strong ego that they can't come to terms with emotions. They were probably taught from a young age to shut them off through different circumstances, through actual teaching, through you know, if they are men, you know, men aren't allowed to cry, men aren't allowed to show weakness, men have to provide. It goes deep. It goes very deep. And unfortunately, even in 2024, we still live in a society where we don't expect men to have any kind of feelings whatsoever. We don't expect them to have mental health whatsoever. You know, we don't look into their mental health. We don't check on our men. We still don't. And it's sad. It's so fucking sad. All right? But when they're stuck, you know, their whole life, say that they're, because this doesn't always happen young, say that they're 30, 40 years old. They've been going through this their entire life. And now here's this whirlwind of emotions that they have to deal with. And it takes time. It does take time, but it's for your benefit. All right? It's for your benefit, because once they crash down, then they can begin to build themselves back up, but build themselves back up better. And while this is going on with the masculines, the exact same thing is going on with the feminines, okay? Because she's going to have to, you know, realize her worth and then do her inner work, all right? And come to their realizations as well. And it's devastating for both parties. So if you're the divine feminine, you know, watching this, everything, I want you to think of that, everything that you've gone through, all the pain, all the hurt, all the anguish, if you are truly on a twin flame journey, your twin is experiencing the exact same thing. So when you're waking up and you're realizing all these things around you, so are they. Okay? When you're crying because you've hurt this one or that one or the other one, so are they. When you're crying because this one and that one and the other one's hurt you, so are they. And then they have the guilt because they've also hurt you. Okay? So it's not only has everybody hurt them, they hurt you. They have to deal with the fact that they crushed you. I have so much guilt over how I treated you. See? And that's devastating. That's especially devastating when they turn all their emotions back on. Because the first thing that they get is guilt, shame, and sadness. Those are the first emotions out of the gate. They don't get happiness. They don't get happiness. They're not like, I turned on all my emotions and I am thrilled. No. Nope. I'm so sorry. I don't think I could apologize enough. Yeah, look at the flower. It's all wilty. It's sad. Even the flower's sad. Okay. Yeah. They're getting crushed by the emotions. All right? And then they have to come out of that. So this is why it takes so long. There are people that have been on the twin flame journey for decades. Decades. We are extremely lucky that we're in the time that we're in now because we have other people, you know, to help us through what's going on. A lot of times, you know, especially back in the day, like the twin flames have been going on for a long time. And back, you know, in like, say, like the 70s, right? There wasn't a whole lot of people, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, that knew what this was. They would, you know, you would see relationships and they would just come off as toxic, right? Because they were constantly breaking up and getting back together. They break up, get back together, break up, get back together. And everybody around them is like, dude, come on. Like, this is toxic. You need to let this go. But they couldn't let it go, right? Because when you feel that connection, when you feel the longing and the obsession, okay, a lot of times the divine masculines will get extremely obsessed with the divine feminines because they don't know what's happening to them, okay? And especially when like the Kundalini awakening, right? When there's like physical sexual union going on between them, you know, the Kundalini has been awoken, right? The snake within, okay? If you don't know about it, you can look it up. There's a million videos now on YouTube. This is proving my point, okay? But nobody understood what this was. Nobody knew what it was. So what would happen is they would come together and neither side would heal, okay? So they kept coming together and they kept blowing apart, but they were determined to stay together. And when that happened, it's a catastrophe. It is a catastrophe when that happens. There is a reason for the separation and the healing. Please, please, let your divine masculines go and heal. You do not want to be a part of all that toxicity. Okay? Let them go and heal. Anything else they want to say? You're the love of my life. It's the realization, okay? Once they've gone through the healing, okay, then it's the realization of they're the one. They are the one. They were always the one. What else? Huh. My ex wants me back, but I don't want them. I want you. Yeah, they know. They finally know what they want, and they're not going back and forth anymore, okay? That's part of the reason why everything happens the way that it does, because when they keep repeating cycles, and we do it too, the divine feminine does it too, we repeat cycles too. We might not repeat cycles with exes, okay? Some do. But we may not always repeat cycles with exes, but sometimes we repeat cycles with family, with jobs, with not making ourselves a priority, with not setting boundaries. You know, we tend to continue to put ourselves on the back burner, okay? We repeat the same cycles, and so do they. And it's how many times would you go back to that ex or go back to that situation, okay? But if they're finally realizing, like, my ex wants me back, but I don't want them, I want you, that's positive movement forward. That means that they're getting out of that repetitive cycle, okay? I talk to you in my head all the time. Do you hear me? This is huge. They're realizing that you guys have telepathy. You have a telepathic bond, all right? And there's a lot of times that the divine feminines will get music playing in their head. music that they haven't heard. Okay, this isn't you heard a song on the radio 2 days ago and it's stuck in your head. This is songs that you might have listened to 10 years ago. Okay, and it'll pop into your head and it will be a certain part of the song. Not always is it the whole song, all right? But it'll be a certain part of the song. And that's a message to you from your divine masculine. And some people know about this and some people don't know about this. But when that starts to happen, write them down. Write down the message. You'll know what's going on in your masculine's life by the songs that you're getting. If you're getting a lot of songs, like say your masculine was in a relationship with somebody else, right? We've got the X card here. So say they were in a relationship with somebody else, but you're getting a bunch of breakup songs for no reason, right? And you're like, why is this in my head? They're probably breaking up. Okay, and like I said, can go in cycles. It can happen over and over and over again. But 6 months from now, not from now, but like in the past, because I'm feeling like this is all past energy. So in the past, this might have come up more than once. Okay, where they've broken up, they've gotten back together. They've broken up, they've gotten back together. But anything that's like heavily on the masculine's mind, usually you will hear. And when it gets to a point when you guys have both surrendered to the connection, like you're not in union yet, but you've both surrendered to the connection, you may even hear them talking to you. And I know I sound insane, okay? But sometimes we can't really explain how things work. It just does. But you may actually hear, not like full-blown paragraphs or something like that, but certain words you may hear, certain sentences you may hear, especially in that time between like sleep and awake as you're drifting. Listen, if you have a question, ask your masculine in your head. Ask him or ask them. It doesn't always have to be a man, but ask them, okay? Before you go to sleep, you'll get an answer. So what else? Is there anything else? There we go. What did you see in me? That's another huge one. That's a huge one because that plays to their confidence. I told you that they were beaten down all of their life. They were gaslit to believe that they are nothing. So why did you fall for them? Why did you like them? I feel so broken. Yeah. They don't, that's what I'm saying. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't see it. They didn't understand it. I want to be everything you need. They're finally understanding that if they're going to give to somebody, why not give to somebody who loves them, someone who appreciates them, somebody who would give to them unconditionally. Is it too late? Have I waited too long? This is another big concern because this journey is not quick. It's just not. It's two people that have to do their own inner healing in order to even come back together. And sometimes it takes a long time. So they wonder, can I come back? Have I waited too long? Have I taken way too long to understand that you were it all along? I want you back. They do want you back. You're the other half of them. Of course they want you back, right? I know there is something different about this relationship. Yeah, big time. That's an understatement of the century. I think there's something different. What did you see in me? It came right back out. What did you see in me? Like they can't get over it. They can't get over how someone as special as you wanted them. What did you do to me? That's another huge thing. Sometimes they'll go off the rails and think that you did something, that you might be into magic or something like that, and that they just don't have any free will and you're taking over their brain. It's not you. It's them. It's them coming home to them. You guys are the same. If you're twin flames, you're the same soul. So when your soul recognizes your soul, of course it's not letting that go. Sorry. It's just not going to let it go because it's like, oh, home. Ooh, home. Yeah, do what you got to do. I want to go home. Right? On the bottom of the deck. I'm in so much pain. I can't stand this anymore. It's the pain that drives them. Otherwise, they'd sit still. They'd never move. It's the pain, and it's terrible that this is the setup, right? But it's the pain that drives them forward to get out of the situations that they're in, to do the healing in order to become who they're supposed to be. This whole journey is not necessarily because you guys are supposed to be together. This whole journey is so you become who you're supposed to be. That's always what the design was for. I should have told you how I felt. Yeah. They kept it to themselves because they thought that they were crazy, because they thought that there was no way that you felt the same. Am I ever in your dreams? They dream about you. And now they're wondering if you dream of them. Most twin flames do dream of each other. That's usually a mutual thing. A lot of times twin flames will dream of each other before they ever even meet each other. The dream world and the 5D is usually where you guys do connect when you guys are in separation. Numbers are stalking me. Yeah. Numbers are your guardian angel's ways of communicating with you. Angels don't speak English, they speak in numbers. So when you're seeing repeating numbers over and over and over again, look up the angel number meaning, and usually there's a message there for you. You can also look up angel number meaning for twin flame specifically if you're on the twin flame journey, and there will be a different message for you. So a lot of times you'll get them if you're headed in the right direction. It's usually them acknowledging that you are going in the right direction. You're doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. Okay. I know you won't wait forever. That's the thing that's always in the back of their mind. That's part of the, like, have I taken too long? They know that you're a catch, okay? And not every person is willing to just sit on a shelf and wait until their divine masculine gets their shit together. I mean, why would you, right? So they know that the longer that they take, the higher the likeliness that you will move on. You will end up, with a regular soulmate. There's nothing wrong with that. If you guys have been going back and forth with this and your divine masculine, say, didn't make the adjustments that they were supposed to make, the universe usually will send you somebody else. They just will. If you guys if you were just supposed to spark the awakening, the universe knows that you're not supposed to actually be together in permanent union, so they will send you somebody else, and you will be with somebody else, and they will be with somebody else, and it'll be okay. It will be okay. All right. With the ones that are supposed to come into permanent union, you guys will do usually heavier inner work. And the reason is because if you're supposed to be together in this lifetime, it's going to take more work than just that initial wake-up spark. Because it's not giving you like other lifetimes to get it together. Like, you guys have probably already done that in past lifetimes where you have not been together. All right. Everybody's on a different on a different but yet similar journey. Okay, so they're on the same journey, the twin flame journey, right? We hear it all the time. But what you don't know is that not every single twin flame is on the same set of railroad tracks. All right, so it's like multiple sets of tracks, and at some point we're supposed to be in union with our twin, but not necessarily this set of tracks, so not necessarily this lifetime. So if you are part of the twin flame journey where you're not supposed to be in permanent physical union with your twin, that's okay. You might have other lifetimes, you know, in the future, and then you'll end up together. You'll have different bodies, you know, you'll look completely different, but your soul has gone through enough growth that a way you guys can actually come together without damaging one another. All right? Because I hear it all the time that, you know, I can't wait to be in union, I can't wait to be in union. And of course your soul feels that way. But sometimes it just takes more work than this lifetime allows. Okay? So even if you're not in physical union, know that you guys are still connected because you are the same soul. So you're still connected. Even if you're with other people, you're still connected. All right? So let's get one more and then we're just going to close out the read. So what is the last message from the Divine Masculine to the Divine Feminine? Oh, we got two. I know I let you down. I let myself down too. And I want to open up to you. Perfect way to end the reading. They finally want to come clean. They want to show you, you know, who they truly are. Because they finally know themselves. Not bad. All right, so if you guys have any comments about this, if you have any questions about this, if you feel a different way about this, maybe you have something that you can share with me. I'm always open to talk about whatever, okay? So I hope this helped. Love and light.